everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Alison and Paige Talk Canada Reads. Your hair looks really nice. I just took a good
Thank
look at you.
you. I blow dried it.
Today, we're going to be talking about the next book on the shortlist, which is Foe by Iain Reid. Yeah, we're both very excited about this book. It's another book that's very different from the last two we read, different from The Cure for Drowning, different from A Minor Chorus. So yeah, this will follow this very similar format to past videos. I'll talk a bit about the author and the champion. I'll pass it over to Paige to give a bit of an overview of the book, and then we'll put a little spoiler line across, and we'll keep on keeping on. If you haven't read the book, feel free to keep listening, or if you have,
Yeah.
absolutely keep listening.
And those who've tuned in to every episode so far, I think Alison's gonna have done sort of more of the intro for this one and the last one, but we've divvied them up equally. So even if it seems like Alison's doing more of the intros, we have divvied it up.
Don't want
I'm
this to be
absolutely
just the Alison
slacking.
Talks Canada Reads.
Yeah, Alison Talks Canada Reads. Exactly.
And I will note that I know I have this, I will look down on this occasionally, this little sling here. It's because there's a really great river trail here in Winnipeg, a skating trail, and I had a little tumble on the weekend where I fell and dislocated my shoulder. So we're here.
Oops.
We're a little frazzled occasionally, but we're here to talk about books. The good thing about being injured is it doesn't, I can still read,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Yep.
So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. So should we just
Thanks for
kind of get
sharing.
into it? Oh, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Paige has got me on a good pain medication schedule.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Right.
Foe.
Yeah.
Foe, yeah.
Oh.
Let's talk about it. So the author Iain Reid, he's written a couple of books, and I think it's been 3 books, but all his books have been changed into or adapted for film or screenplay, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So its first book was I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was a New York Times bestseller, I believe. He was born in Ottawa. He went to Queen's University, which Paige also went to Queen's.
Okay.
Queen's alumni. And his second book was Foe, which was published in
18, I think.
2018 or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I think so. Yeah.
And then his most recent book is called We Spread, which was published in 2022. And you read that one and really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I only realized I'd read it when I went on Goodreads to mark Foe as reading or read, and I was like, and I really liked it. I rated it 5 stars. So I was like, oh, I just had no idea. So yeah, it's a good one.
I put it on my to read list too. And I'll share one more random fact about Iain Reid before I get into the champion is his sister-in-law was actually the first lady of Iceland. So his brother-in-law was the former president of Iceland, which is super random.
So his brother-in-law was the president of Iceland?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really random.
Yeah. The things you
fun,
could just
though.
find on
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Okay. So on that
Very
note,
cool.
the champion for Foe is Josh de la Cruz, who I hadn't heard of before. What I love about Canada Reads is, getting to know these Canadian celebrities of sorts. So he's American Canadian, he's an actor, he's a singer, dancer, Filipino descent as well. He's been on Broadway. He started as Aladdin on Broadway, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he moved to Canada when he was hosting a TV show on Nickelodeon called Blues Clues and You. So the show was produced in Toronto, and so he and his wife liked it so much they decided to move to Canada.
Okay. I mean, I know Blues Clues.
We know
but
Blues
maybe
Clues.
not
Yeah.
Blues Clues and You. I don't know that
No,
one.
this is new. We loved Blues Clues growing up.
Yeah.
He's a big reader. There's actually a Canada Reads for Kids. Did you know that there's a CBC Kids Reads?
Okay.
And he was a champion in that last year.
Oh, okay. So he maybe kind of knows a little bit, so a little this, a little that.
May have an advantage.
Yeah. I think he might.
This book. And I'll pass it over to Paige for the general overview.
So, a spoiler-free overview. This book is another shorter one. I think it was maybe 200 pages or so. Just a Minor Courses.
You did the audiobook or the?
I did the ebook.
Okay, I did the ebook as well.
You did. We both did the ebook. Yeah. So it was shorter. I read it in I had some dedicated reading time, so I read it in, like, a day and a half. Um, so it's a pretty quick read. It's a dystopian slash sci-fi slash thriller, I would call it, like, as far as genre-wise, that's what I would call it. Um, which is a kind of a different category for Canada Reads. Canada
Mm.
Reads is usually, I think, like, more like literary fiction, historical fiction, that kind of, like,
Wasn't the
vibe.
future like a sci-fi?
Yeah, I think so. So,
I
yeah,
never
I
read
guess
it,
it's
so.
here and there, but there's I think because we were talking last year, Watch Over was the first thriller.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, some people would call this a thriller, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's a genre. And it follows, it's sort of like this set in like this rural home of this husband and wife, and they get a visitor one day, and, you know, interesting things ensue. So maybe I'll just say that. It's just
Yeah.
should be like spoiler free. So if you don't want spoilers, just pause now. So basically, it's pretty easy to like memorize the preface of this book. There's three characters.
Mhm.
There's only three characters, and there's basically one setting, and it's in the home of this couple. We have Junior, we have Hen, and they're
AKA
married.
Henrietta.
Hen slash Henrietta, and Junior. Junior is the first person narrator of this book. And then they have this person that shows up at their house. What was
Terrence.
his name again? Terrence.
I had to look this up again, yeah.
Terrence. He shows up one day and he's like, I have this very exciting thing that's happening. You're on like Junior, you're on the long list to
Ken
be,
Reed's long list?
yeah, the long list to be chosen to be sent to space to start a new human civilization. So I was like this, I was like, that's interesting. Like, that's where this book is going. We're going
Yeah.
to space.
Yeah, we're going
Um,
to space!
we're going to space. And then you can just tell, obviously, it's on the long list, but obviously he's going to be picked.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this book would not exist. So basically, like, he tells him this, and he's there for like Terrence there for a few hours and then leaves. And for like over 2 years, they don't hear anything. And basically, like, Henrietta and Junior have this like strained relationship, especially right after Terrence leaves. And yeah, it does like go on like explaining that, and then eventually Terrence returns and he's like, "You're on the short list." I was like, "Canada Reads short list?"
Yeah.
And, and then eventually he is selected, right? And then we basically find out that, while he's gone, he's going to be replaced by like a robot version of himself to keep Henrietta company. So when that happened, I was like, that's creepy. That's really creepy.
Yeah. I think going in, I was kind of expecting it to be like I think the description was like sci-fi, thriller, horror,
Yeah.
something. And what I did like about Foe was it kind of kept you confused for a while
Mm-hmm.
about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of like that creepy feeling with Terrence showing up with like
Definitely.
green headlights and what's Henrietta's role in all this and why is Junior talking without quotation marks? There was a point where I clued in that he probably wasn't like quote unquote human, like
Mm-hmm.
organically human. But I felt like there was a lack of substance in the book. Like I felt
Mm-hmm.
like there was stuff in the beginning and stuff in the end, but the middle was kind of just like nothing really happened. There was a couple of the beetles come up, but like that's never really resolved or it's just there wasn't really enough for me, and I don't know if it was like strong enough on any genre or strong enough on any theme that it kind of didn't pull me in,
Mm-hmm.
despite the ending being a good twist, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop there and maybe lay your thoughts on us.
Yeah. I'm like similar. I feel like maybe I wish this book met my expectations a bit more because I really
Mm.
enjoy
I was
thrillers.
excited for it.
Yeah, I like enjoy thrillers, so and it started out so creepy and intriguing.
Mm.
So like, okay. And then yeah, just sort of in the middle, not like it's just kind of bland and not bland, but just nothing was really happening, I guess. It
Yeah.
moved kind of slowly. And
was
then, yeah, there
slower.
were 2 good plot twists I found, but you can't just have 2 plot twists and that can't carry the entire
Were
book,
they
I
at the
feel.
end? Was it the
I
like
found the first plot twist was the fact that he's gonna be replaced, but I think it's when his replacement walks in the room, or we think it's his replacement, walks in the room, and he sees himself.
uh
And then the other thing was that the replacement is actually him.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
that
thought that was a third twist too. It was all along Henrietta was also being interviewed for a replacement for her.
for her. Yeah. Yeah, that was like, I don't know, that one, yeah, maybe didn't hit as hard for me,
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, general thoughts,
We're
like,
talking
a
to
little
a,
bit
a real thriller connoisseur here with Paige,
yeah,
so,
exactly.
nothing gets past
I was,
Paige.
like, a little bit underwhelmed. I think there were some
Underwhelmed is a good
interesting
word. Yeah.
yeah, there were, like, definitely some interesting themes and made you think a bit. I think I just wanted a bit more from yeah, just the book, like, I wanted a bit more. But I think it has a lot of potential, like, the bones of it, I think were interesting. And I also thought it was weird that, like, never explored Junior going to space, because he went to space for 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's never talked about.
No.
So that I was like, it was a 200-page book, we could have probably talked about that, but that would be so much that would be a whole other huge, like, part of the book, or
Yeah. I felt
maybe
like there was a lot of focus in a very narrow area, which
yeah,
could work, but there wasn't enough there in that area for it to be like feel like whole almost.
yeah. Well, there's literally 3 characters, and there's 1 setting. So,
Yeah.
why do you think the author chose to do that? Like, why not, have more settings, more scenes? Terrence goes to Junior's job and works at his job, so why don't we have any scenes there? And then why do you think the author limited it so much? It was purposeful, I mean.
Yeah, it was purposeful. I think Junior was feeling increasingly trapped and
Mhm.
increasingly suspicious, and so it was meant to make us feel kind of claustrophobic almost and not
Yeah,
unsure about what's going on because we can't
yeah,
see anywhere else. So I think it was trying to keep us on our toes.
yeah. Yeah, no, that makes
Just
sense.
Junior didn't really have a lot of substance to him
Yeah.
necessarily. Like I feel like the author could have like made him a little deeper of a character, but at the same time he was also like a AI
Yeah,
robot or
because we
something.
found at the end the whole time, this guy, the narrator is just an AI
But did
robot.
you know that?
I didn't like, I know a lot of people caught on early from when I was looking online.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When
When
I
did you
caught
figure it
on
out?
was early when he was like, I don't have any memories before hen.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fair.
was like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
seem like maybe you're
yeah,
not human. Yep.
yeah. Yep, no, that's fair. I didn't catch on to that. So,
That's good.
yeah.
That makes it maybe a little more interesting, or maybe the twist was maybe a little more impactful for you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So is
So,
this a
and then I was, like, from looking online as well, where you're saying like, the AI junior doesn't have any memories outside of his relationship with Henrietta. So maybe that's partly why the author didn't have any scenes outside of the house, because that's like, you know, all that Junior knows is very narrow, like, scope
his
of
work and the
the
house,
work and
basically?
home. Yeah. And no other extended family or friends or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Can you
yeah, I thought that was
imagine being
interesting.
Henrietta and just being like trapped with this AI replacement of your partner for 2 years and like,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be a little
Like, I'm
strange.
good. I can just wait
Yeah.
for my actual person to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the other thing was that was a hint to the twist was that Junior, anybody who's AI in the book, didn't have quotation marks around them
Yeah.
talking in the book, which
Yeah.
I thought was just like a stylistic choice of the author. Because I was thinking last year at an auto, they didn't use any quotation marks.
Right.
And I was just thinking about that. I think I was, like, in this mindset of, like, reading books without quotation marks, and it did make it slightly confusing to read, I
It
find.
did.
I don't
Yeah.
really know why authors pick to do that. In this case, it made sense with the twist,
Yeah. It's like,
but I
are they
find
saying it out loud or are they not? Like,
yeah,
like, yeah,
right?
kind of.
And then you end up having to, like, go back and, like, reread it, so, I thought that was, like, clever,
I
though.
did clue into that.
Yeah, I didn't. I just thought because I thought the author was thinking, okay, this person is narrating, like, so I'm not gonna put quotes around it. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
was like, okay.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this a book every Canadian should read?
I'm leaning towards like no. I think like the good thing about it is it's not too long. It's accessible, it's easy to understand. Um it's you know, I think there's definitely a good amount of people like it. What's it rated on Goodreads and like online generally? Do you know? I feel like it doesn't have bad ratings.
3.69.
Okay, that's like
That's fine.
not bad.
Yeah.
Moderate. Yeah, so I think this is like a readable book. As I said, it doesn't take too long to read, but there's definitely just so many other thrillers and other books in the same category that I think would be just I would enjoy more than this. Um, so I'm kind of like a little bit disappointed in it, honestly.
Yeah. I think the concepts are relevant and interesting, but they're just not
Mhm.
done well enough in my opinion, or don't come across strongly enough that
Yeah,
I kind of was just left with okay,
yeah, 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 yeah,
but it wasn't
yeah.
anything like that didn't leave a huge impression on me.
No, no.
Yeah.
So then we're talking about building bridges, like a book that builds bridges, and we were
Mhm.
kind of chatting the other day about how we have been defining building bridges. So I think my kind of understanding of building bridges is making connections between maybe groups of people or
An
um,
idea.
an idea to, raise awareness, maybe. Those are kind of like the buzzwords that kind of come to mind when I'm thinking of building bridges or just like creating connections and alliances and understanding. And so does that, I mean, it maybe fits a little bit better into a book that builds bridges, maybe, because it does talk
Maybe
about like
maybe
AI,
explain.
but
Mhm.
yeah, it's hard for me to say that it strongly builds a bridge.
Yeah, I was reading online about what the author said, and they said the inspiration for Foe was thinking about relationship to AI, technology, space, and each other, and the future of AI and how it'll reshape our lives. Which is kind of interesting because you said this book was published in 2018, and this was before I'd say like now AI is like coming more and more everywhere, and so this was kind of before it was a little more relevant to our
Yeah,
everyday
like
lives.
mainstream. Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe the only thing I would say about building bridges is, in this case, is kind of building bridges between humans and technology and like the blurring lines between the two of them,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
which
Definitely.
kind of leads to what I was going to ask you and relating to this like building bridges is like throughout the whole novel, you kind of see Junior as human, human-like
Mhm.
in many ways,
Mhm.
has feelings and love
Yeah.
and does things or whatever. And then at the end, it's revealed I don't even know, he's not actually called a robot, but we're just gonna call him a robot in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, that's what I kind of pictured.
It's just
Yeah.
like shut down. And he doesn't really get a say in it. He doesn't have any control over his life or anything like that. I was gonna ask you, like, do you think that Junior should have human rights because he acts in such a human way and has to play in such a human role? Like, do you think it was okay? Or how did you feel about that event when he was kind of just like shut down?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because like we find out he's been narrating this whole time. So you spent all this time with him. And then yeah, he's like shut down. I feel like, you know, I mean, it's so hard to say. I I'm yeah, it's really hard to say.
People are dating AIs
Yeah.
and you think of Sunny from iRobot, you're thinking, we're
Yep.
actually heading that direction of more human-like
Companionship and
technology. And so
yeah.
kind of there's some ethics discussion
Yeah,
there
and,
too.
like and you have Henrietta who spent 2 years with him, the robot, and how does she feel about him being shut down? And then she basically after 2 years, her husband comes back, and she feels like he's a stranger, and she doesn't
Yeah.
have any connection with him
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of confusing for her, and yeah, so, I mean, it's so hard to say. I think, yeah, he doesn't have any agency, like, over that decision of him being shut down.
He can't really do anything. He's not allowed to like leave the house basically. He was running towards that fire.
Yeah,
And then he was
yeah,
just taken down and strapped to this chair and had to sleep standing up. And
yeah,
he was
yeah. I
basically
don't
told
know.
by
I
Terrence,
get
I'm
to
gonna
that,
watch
like
you
yes and no.
every second, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, what is he made of? Like, does he have like just if you does he have like panel on his back and he's just made of like metal and wires? Then I feel a little bit less bad about it. But does
Because he
he?
doesn't like look as human.
Because is he like made of like flesh and does he feel pain? And I mean, I guess he feels emotions. So I don't know. It just starts to become so blurred, like such a blurred line
Yeah.
about who he is. And it kind of reminds me of like Black Mirror, kind of like,
Hmm.
all of that. And I definitely feel empathy for him for sure at the end of the day
Yeah.
for the
And
robot.
I think that's meant to
Yeah.
leave you feeling a bit confused,
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
yeah.
And, the title of the book is Foe. The past 2 books, we kind of dissected the title for both. Cure for Drowning, we talked about that in a minor chorus, like what that meant. So foe, at the end of the book, I was
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, this is called Foe. Like, who's the foe? Do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was a good question, because I hadn't really thought about it. It's a hard question. I think you're meant to be like, who is to blame for
Yeah,
the events
yeah,
in the book? And
yeah,
I feel like in the book, the enemy or the foe is this company per se that
yeah.
is doing all these things. What's the name of the company?
It's like one something. I didn't end up writing it down.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, anyway,
It's
yeah.
like AI and the people who enforce the system, but that's such like a
Hmm.
nebulous concept because Terrence is just a pawn in the system
Yeah,
and then you have the company
exactly.
and like it's also like I think it does well of translating to today with AI causing so many issues, but like who's to blame?
Yeah,
It's like a very nebulous kind of foe.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Abstract.
it was like an
Yeah,
unseen foe for Junior. Like he didn't know who the foe was, and we're
yeah,
kind of struggling with that too.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what do you think?
Like, I
That was a
think
deep
like
thought.
for Canada Reads, when we encounter a character, I write it down, my first impression. I just said strange right
Oh,
there.
yeah, definitely strange.
Who is this guy in their house? Like, he's very unsettling. So I think like when I first, I would think that's the foe is Terrence, but Terrence is just a cog in the machine, and
Mhm.
Terrence is somebody he's reporting to. And yes, he's like part of this. He's part of the whole thing. But yeah, I think the foe is like whoever's toying with the emotions and the lives of these two people. And I
Yeah, with
definitely
the
think
system
that the
in
fact
ways.
that they're in a rural setting is not an accident. I think
Mhm.
we have this contrast between technology and innovation, and then you have this rural setting where the junior works at the lumber like place. I think there's a big contrast with those city life versus rural life,
It's all
technology versus like
controlled.
how things used to be. And so I think that is part of it versus the setting being an apartment building downtown in a city. I think that
Yeah,
was very much on purpose.
yeah.
But
I think it was
so I
meant to be
kind
try
of
and make it
appreciate that.
like a controlled environment almost.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
isolated.
because
Like,
you're in their
if they're in an
interactions
apartment
with
building, they'd have
people.
neighbors. I picture this house in a big field with
Yeah,
nobody anywhere nearby. So it's very
yeah,
isolating, which is also on purpose. They don't have anyone that can answer their questions. They don't even go online
yeah,
and read about this kind of stuff. He says he
yeah,
doesn't watch the news, and yeah, so very isolated. So yeah, I think this was like a tense story, and it was
yeah,
sort of like there's a lot of subtleties to it. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a good title. I think that sort of sums it up pretty
yeah.
well.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think this conversation has actually made me see a few more of the redeeming qualities of the book. Like,
yeah.
I'm not completely changing my opinion, but I think that there's little nuggets that maybe are a little more deeper than you think. Kind of related to what you were saying about, what did you just say? Something that made my mind think of
Tension, subtleties,
the
rural
subtleties. Yeah.
city.
I was kind of wondering what you think about the Beatles.
Yeah,
I didn't like
yeah,
them. But like, why were they there?
yeah, yeah. The first time we encounter a beetle, Beetle like the bug, not the band, for those who haven't read the book. Uh,
Yeah,
so
the bug beetle.
Henrietta is cleaning out their closet, and he's just looking for something in the closet, and she sees a beetle and screams, and it's so creepy. And then Junior like goes and gets rid of it or whatever.
Or
And
kind of just
then
stares
we
at
kind
it. I'm
of
not even sure, Junior.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's like entranced by it. And then I think there's like another time he sees one in the bathroom maybe or something. And then he definitely then at the end, Henrietta sees one in the sink and she's transfixed by it in the kitchen.
Hmm.
So I think when I like finished the book, it was lost on me what the Beatles were. It was
Yeah.
not clear to me, unfortunately. Every time I think it came up 3 times. After the first time, well, the first time you don't know it's going to be a recurring thing, so you're just like, okay, that's weird. I'm just like moving on
Yeah.
from that. And the second time, I was like, okay, so this is a thing. And then it ends. One of the like last pages, they're talking about it, and then it ends. And I was like, I had to look it up online because I just had no like patience to
What
like
did
try and
people
figure it
say?
out. So
Wait,
people are
did they
saying,
think it was like listening devices or something?
no, what did you think before I like, do you have any
I thought it
thoughts
was
on
like
like what?
some sort of listening device or something that was in their house, keeping an eye on them. I don't know.
Mm.
It was kind of lost to me too. I actually kind of just buried it in my head because it was never resolved.
No, and it wasn't obvious enough to like for to catch on for me. And I like to think, I do catch on to things, um, pretty often. So what people said, I saw some people online saying, that the AI versions of the AI versions of people are transfixed by the Beatles, and the non-AI versions of people are scared of them.
So at the end, it was the Henrietta that
Henrietta's
was an
AI.
AI. Fascinating. That's a cool take, and that makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then that was like the main thing I saw online. And then I saw another people just throwing out the idea of a bug, like a computer bug and bug in the system where like
Right.
and like so if Hen and Junior were talking to about who they are and helping him make the AI version of themselves, they never maybe would have mentioned these beetles because why would you mention this random
Yeah.
thing? And so
Yeah.
now when the AI version of them sees this, they're like, "What is that? I've
Yeah.
no idea what that is." And so that's
Right.
why they're transfixed by it because they don't know
Interesting.
what it is. So yeah. So
Hmm.
now that I like know that, like I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I think it was just too bad that it didn't. Uh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not like you're not going to get everything, but I think it does go a bit back to the execution on this novel. Like I think it was really close, but it just wasn't quite
Yeah.
there, like hitting the right plot
Yeah.
points for that to
Yeah.
like
I'm
maybe
not
come
sure
to
like
the
what it could have
surface.
been. What could have improved it? Like,
Some of the
do you have
narration
like,
maybe around like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those things that you had to look really deep to get it. But I
yeah.
I, I was talking to someone about the book and they were like, what was it about these beetles? Like I'm
Okay.
confused.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe it's just one of those nuggets that if you figure it out, it's a nice reward.
Yeah.
It's like a reward.
I like it. It's like a reward. Yeah.
Bring a little brain rot into
So,
the the
yeah. So, that's pretty much all the notes I have as far as like things I want to bring up. Unreliable narrator. This is just like a
yeah.
random thing I wrote down. Yeah. So I just, you know, it happened.
And I think it's so
I think,
different
yeah,
than
I
the
think
other
this
two books
conversation like
as
definitely,
well.
pardon? What?
I think it's super different from the other two books as well. Like if I'm
Very
trying to like
different.
compare across, I mean just in terms of technical execution and like enjoyability, I think the other two are better, but this does provide a little bit of a different way of using your brain and I don't know. It was
Yeah. And
underwhelming for me.
what do you Yeah, it was a little underwhelming. It's so different than the other books, and even the next book we're gonna be reading is like totally different.
Yeah.
What do you think the champion? What do you think would be a point that they might bring up to advocate for this book? Like, what do you
They're gonna
think the
bring up
number
like
one like thing would be about this book that they would advocate?
they're gonna bring up like technology and our relationship with
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
and transferring that into the present day, I think. I think that's going to be
Yeah.
their main.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see them talking about that. I just don't know if there's actually, like it definitely brings up some ethical considerations for AI. So, yeah, no, I could see that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of doing a bit of digging into like ethics of AI,
Mhm.
because obviously there's lots of negative impacts of AI or there's lots of positive impacts of AI, but I think that those are overshadowing a lot of the negative impacts, and we don't talk about the negative impacts as much. So
Mhm.
potentially this book helps highlight some of those like ethical gray areas that we should continue to consider um, as we continue to progress in this technological landscape. And I was thinking as well about how this relates to books in general, like audiobooks, for example. If you use Audible, I'm just going to suggest you don't use Audible. They're starting to use AI as narrators instead of actually like
Yeah.
paying
That's really
these
unfortunate.
talented people to narrate
Yeah.
their audiobooks. So Libro FM is a good option. But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of ethical muck around
Absolutely.
the use of AI, and I think it's important to keep that conversation at the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if this book could spark, like, some conversations about, um, AI, and yeah, and especially in the context of books because, even writing books and the
There are
audiobooks,
some books
narrating
that
books,
some people
yeah,
think are
are
AI.
yeah, which is really unfortunate. And yeah, there's like I think if you start to delve into the world of audiobooks, you can really gain an appreciation for these actors and like audiobook narrators and how skilled they are.
It's
Um,
hard. Yeah.
and it is really hard to it's not just like reading a book out loud. It's the voices, the intonations, all of it. So, audiobooks are great. And yeah, Libro FM is really a good alternative to Audible. So, and Spotify has audiobooks. Like there's a lot of ways to
Yeah.
listen to audiobooks. And Libby from your library, you can get
Yeah.
audiobooks. So maybe if this it would be nice if this like sparked, a good conversation about AI on a Canada Read stage. So
And
that's
I thought,
good. Maybe that's why he picked it. Maybe he really
yeah,
wants to talk about that.
like as an
Um,
actor and stuff too, like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
coming into a lot of creative spaces.
Yes, yeah,
Maybe it's a good.
exactly.
And I thought Terrence
Exactly.
almost represented like he was so much in Henrietta and Junior's space of like, I'm gonna watch you do everything. I'm gonna collect all this data on you. It's important. It's relevant. Da 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 da. Similarly to how we live day to day, where all our data is collected all the
Yeah,
time, no matter what we do, and used to exploit people and stuff. So
yeah.
there was that mirroring as well, which
Mm,
is related to ethics and AI. But I
yeah,
thought that was
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. No, that you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I thought about that as well.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it's like back
Yeah,
off, Terrence.
yeah, exactly. Right. I was get out of my house. Get out. Yeah. So, it happened.
Yeah.
We got two books left. Is there anything else you'd want to add about Poe? I think we've kind of said everything we need to say, or we
Yeah,
felt like saying.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
It was definitely like an interesting book. If you're looking for like if you're looking to dip a little bit into like this kind of space or this kind of genre, like, go check it out.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm
This is
still
my
Cure for Drowning Stan here.
my
So,
book journal. I'm booked
ooh.
all week, and this is Poe,
Oh,
Iain Reid, dystopian. It was just okay.
just okay. You didn't rate the stars there.
Not what I expected.
Oh,
Um, I always wait to like, finish these conversations to rate it because I always feel like it goes up a little bit after we
yeah.
have these conversations.
Yeah.
So I wait to rate it.
It went from like a 2 to like maybe a 2.5 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm kind of like feeling the same
To each
way.
their own. There's some people who really love this book, and like we say every time, like every different books for different folks. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
there's books that like I've read that I love that you're not interested in, and vice versa.
yeah, like First Lie Wins was a 3-star for me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like it's
So
it's everybody's own
Yeah.
opinion
But I
on
like the
what book.
conversation that this book kind of brings out.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm excited. It's always interesting to see like when the debates happen, you're like, oh, we talked about this, like, or
Yeah,
wow, we didn't
yeah.
think about that.
Oh, we didn't think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, our next book
Mhm.
is a romance.
Yeah, so that's different. Now I'm just started it and I'm thinking like the book it's most similar to would be like A Cure for Drowning because A Cure for Drowning has just the romance aspect to it, just generally like the historical fiction and romance. But besides that, it's also just very different from all three of these books
I can already tell it's very
generally.
different. I started it today, the audiobook. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it'll be super interesting. Again, just for another genre, it's completely, romance. I think for a lot of
I don't
people,
think I've ever read a hetero romance book.
yeah. So I think it's gonna be a lot of people's first experience reading romance. So that'll be super interesting. The same people are reading Foe are gonna read
Yeah.
like romance book, which is it's different this time, or it'll be different. It's
It's
different this
different this
time.
time.
So I think that's like super interesting because they're so different. Yeah. So we'll see. So we're super excited about that. If you're a romance reader, definitely pick it up and check out our next conversation.
I'm excited to talk about the romance genre generally. I think there's a lot of like interesting nuances to
Definitely.
romance. It's often looked
Yeah.
down upon
Yeah.
and, is a
Exactly.
girly genre.
Yeah.
It's yeah, the patriarchy kind of squishes down on the romance
Yeah.
genre. So don't be afraid to pick it up even if you're not a romance person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no reason not to pick it up and give it a try.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll tune in for that. And yeah, we've got 2 books left. So we're a little over halfway. All right, thanks for tuning in,
It's
everybody.
gone so quick.
Thanks for listening. We always love doing
Yeah,
these.
we
Okay.
do. All right.
Bye.
Bye.